ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च ये कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिने नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। वैराग्य विद्या निज भक्ति योगा शिक्षार्थमेक पुरुष पुराण श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य शरीरधारी कृपाम्बुदीर्घस्तमहं प्रपद्ये पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपा स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। गुरुवे गौरचंद्राय राधिकाय तदारी कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमः। Hare Krishna. So welcome all the devotees. Today's Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita class. Please accept my humble obeisances. And we are reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, first chapter, 57 sloka onwards. चिन्तामणिर्जयति सोमगिरिर्गुरुर्मे शिक्षक गुरुश्च भगवान् सिकिपिञ्च मौली यत्पादकल्पतरुपल्लवशेखरेषु लीलस्वयंवररसं लभते जयश्री। चिन्तामणिर्जयति सोमगिरिर्गुरुर्मे शिक्षक गुरुश्च भगवान् सिकिपिञ्च मौली यत्पादकल्पतरुपल्लवशेखरेषु लीलस्वयंवररसं लभते जयश्री। हरे कृष्णा। सची माता जी।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु।
हरे कृष्ण।
चिन्तामणिर्जयति सोमगिरिर्गुरुर्मे शिक्षा गुरुश्च भगवान् शिकिपिञ्च मौली यत्पादकल्पतरुपल्लवशेखरेषु लीला स्वयंवररसं लभते जयश्री।
बोल उमा। Hare Krishna. Uma is there? Okay, no problem. So we'll read the translation.
Sorry, can I read?
Yeah, please.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to Chintamani and my initiating spiritual master, Somagiri. All glories to my instructing spiritual master, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who wears peacock feathers in his crown. Under the shade of his lotus feet, which are like desire trees, Jai Shri Radharani enjoys the transcendental mellow of an eternal concert. Hare Krishna.
Very good. All glories to Chintamani and my initiating spiritual master, Somagiri. All glories to my instructing spiritual master, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who wears peacock feathers in his crown under the shade of his lotus feet, which are like desire trees. Jai Shri Radharani enjoys the transcendental mellow of an eternal concern. This is about Bilamangala Thakur, who is author of Krishna Karnamrita. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu likes Krishna Karnamrita very much. He used to, he likes few, scriptures, especially, what is that? Jayadev Goswami's Chandidas and Bilamangala Thakur's, like that, Vidyapati. So all this, their compilation, their books, he likes very much. Okay, so Krishna Karnamrita is by Vidyamangala Thakur. He likes that. So Krishnadas Kaviraja Goswami is mentioning here about Vidyamangala Thakur, who in the earlier days was so much attached to material enjoyment, later became a pure devotee, and he totally surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. So he went to Vrindavan also. There he happened to meet Gopal of his life and soul. Okay, so Chintamani is actually a prostitute. We know the story. So actually, she opened his eyes. Chintamani, once she said, if you have the attachment, towards me, is that same attachment, if you divert to Supreme Lord Krishna, he would have been liberated already by now. So that really opened his eyes. Okay, then he totally renounced everything, went to Vrindavan. So he is being appreciated and glorified by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, wherein Vidyamangala Thakur is glorifying what you call, instructing spiritual master, we can say. Instructing spiritual master. Here it is mentioned, all glories to Chintamani and my initiating spiritual master, Swamagiri. So initiating spiritual master is Swamagiri, and Chintamani is Pada Pradarshak Guru. Okay, when showing the path to Krishna consciousness. So he is remembering, he is glorifying Chintamani also, although she is a prostitute. Even a person in that level also can inspire someone to become Krishna conscious. That's what we have to understand. So we should not, see people so lightly. Even a prostitute can guide us spiritually. So that is what we have to understand. And definitely the initiated spiritual master who is known as Swamagiri. Then he is glorifying the instructing spiritual master, Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he is glorifying him who wears a peacock feather in his crown under the shade of his lotus feet, which are like decide trees. Jai Shri Radharani, enjoy the transcendental mellow of eternal concert. So this is from Krishna Karnamrita. This verse is from the Krishna Karnamrita, which was written by a great Vaishnava sannyasi named Bilamangala Thakur, who is also known as Leelashoka. Okay. His another name is Leelashoka. Okay. He intensely desired to enter into the eternal pastimes of the Lord, and he lived at Vrindavan for 700 years in the vicinity of Brahmakunda, a still existing bathing tank in Vrindavana. Okay, so where did he live? Brahmakunda. For how many years? There in Vrindavana itself, he lived for 700 years. So what will be his lifespan? Definitely more than 700 years. In Vrindavan itself, he lived for 700 years. Was it possible? Because he lived in the age of Kali, not in Dwaparayuga or Trayadayuga, Satyuga. But there are such personalities. We know that our Jagannath Das Pandit, Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, he lived for 140 years. So there were people living for long years. So Vidyamangala Thakur is one of them. So he stayed in Brahmakunda. We know that's still there. So in the vicinity of Brahmakunda for 700 years. The history of Bilamangala Thakur is given in a book called Sri Vallabha Digvijaya. From where did Prabhupada take all these things? A book called Sri Vallabha Digvijaya. He appeared in the 8th century of the Saka era in the province of Dravida and was the chief disciple of Vishnu Swami. Now we may ask, there are so many Villamangalas. Okay, so as per this, 8th century. Now this is 21st century. Okay, so even if you take 8th century and 700 years, so 15th century, right? So 15th century, around 15th, 16th century, our Kururama, Mondanam, they're all living. So there is Villamangal Thakur mentioned in their pastimes also. Also, people are telling Villamangala is a title, so not just one Villamangala. So we don't know. So if it could be the same person because he lived for 700 years means, so even if it is he appeared in 8th century, so around 1500, they were also there. So it could be possible, the same Villamangala Thakur also. But he's not born in Kerala. Some books say that he was born in Karnataka. Now, as per this, it is mentioned here Dravida, isn't it? Where we have read it?
Shaka era in the province of Dravida.
Yeah, down, Prabhuji. Below that book.
Shaka era in the province of Dravida. Okay. Some people says in Kerala, so maybe it is a same title in the same, parampara. Some other personality could be. We don't know that it is the same Villamangala or not. So he appeared in the 8th century of Saka era in the province of Dravida and was the chief disciple of Vishnu Swami. Who is Vishnu Swami?
Rudra Sampradaya Acharya.
Yeah. The recent prominent Acharya of Rudra Sampradaya. Okay. So Vishnu Swami. In a list of temples and monasteries kept in Shankaracharya's monastery in Dwaraka, Vilamangala is mentioned as the founder of the Dwaragadish temple there. We must have gone to the Dwaragadish temple in Dwaraka. So he is the founder as per this record of Shankaracharya kept in the monastery of Dwaraka. He entrusted the service of his deity to Hari Brahmachari, a disciple of Vallabha. Vallabha also comes in the same Sampradaya. So Bilamangala Thakur actually entered into transcendental pastimes of Lord Krishna. Vallabha Acharya actually started this Pushti mark. Vallabhacharya. So there's also branch of Rudra Sampradaya only. Okay. So Bilamangala Thakur actually entered into the transcendental pastimes of Lord Krishna. He has recorded his transcendental experiences and appreciation in the book known as Krishna Karnamrita. In the beginning of that book, he has offered his obeisances to his different gurus, and it is to be noted that he has adored them all equally, whether he is a Patha Pradashak Guru or initiating spiritual master or instructing spiritual master or the supreme personality. He has given equal importance to everyone. The first spiritual master mentioned is Chintamani, who was one of his instructing spiritual masters because she first showed him the spiritual path. Chintamani was a prostitute with whom Bilamangala was intimate earlier in his life. She gave him the inspiration to begin on the path of devote service. And because she convinced him to give up material existence to try for perfection by loving Krishna, he has first offered his respects to her. So she was the person who actually guided him in his spiritual life. Because was so attracted and attached to this, Chintamani. Every time he visits, was without that he cannot stay one day. So much attracted to her. So even on that day of his father passed away, even that day he did not spare. So that day was very, very heavy. Rain was there, storm was there, and the river was overflooded. In spite of that, he somehow crossed the river in that flood. Then, he took caught hold of some creepers Actually, it was not creepers. It was snake. Just imagine. And he went upstairs with the help of that so-called creeper snake. And then in that heavy rain, when Chintamani saw the Bilamangala in that condition, she asked him, how did you reach here in this heavy rain, storm and all? The same attachment, the same asakti, if you had shown towards Krishna, you would have been delivered long back. So that really, inspired Vilamangala to stop all these nonsensical, sense gratificative activities and turned towards Krishna. That is how he went to Vrindavana, then started composing scriptures and this Krishna Karnavardhana and all. So he has become a very first class devotee. And because on his way also, he left Chintamani and he was going to Vrindavana. On his way also, he halted in some house where he saw one lady, one Mataji. And again, he had that, lusty vision, lusty, desires. Then what did he? He requested hairpin of that Mataji, and there he, made his eyes blind. So that these eyes, these senses are so strong. Because of these senses, I am seeing this beautiful object, and I don't want to be prey for this anymore. So he removed his eyes with that saved or this hairpin. Then he proceeded to Vrindavan. So as a blind man, was always thinking of Krishna, singing about Krishna, glorifying Krishna. Krishna himself comes and gives milk and other eatables, because otherwise he never eats. If somebody gives, he'll eat. He doesn't get, he will not eat. But Krishna is to take care. So like that, he became a pure devotee. That is so he wrote Chintamani also. And he wrote Krishna Karnamrita. Okay. So he offered first respects to her. Next, he offers his respects to his initiating spiritual master, Somagiri, and then to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who was also his instructing spiritual master. He explicitly mentions Bhagavan, who has peacock feathers on his crown, because the Lord of Vrindavana, Krishna, a coward boy, used to come to Belamangala to talk with him and supply him with milk. So he used to come as a Gopal and used to supply him milk. So he mentioned here Bhagavan. Why? Because he knows he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Bhagavan is one who possesses all the Bhaga, opulences. Bhaga means opulences, one who possesses it. So we know what are the opulences. Aishwaryasya Samagrasya, Viryasya Yashasasriya, Jnana Vairagyasya Shannan Bhaga Idindana. Okay, these are the 6 opulences. One who possesses all these 6 opulences in full can only be called Bhagavan. That is, only Krishna possesses this. So in his adoration of Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, he states that Jaya Shri, the goddess of fortune, Srimati Radharani, takes shelter in the shade of his lotus feet to enjoy the transcendental rasa of nuptial love. Complete treatise Krishna Karnamrita is dedicated to the transcendental pastimes of Sri Krishna and Srimati Radharani. So this Krishna Karnamrita is dedicated to the transcendental pastimes of Sri Krishna and Srimati Radharani. It's a book to be read and understood by the most elevated devotees of Sri Krishna. So this we should read only when we are matured in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, we will misinterpret, will misunderstand the contents of that. So one should be very careful. That's why Prabhupada mentions here. It should be read and understood by the most elevated devotees of Sri Krishna. But this is not a subject matter for discussion among the ordinary devotee circle. It's a very high level of, transcendental level of Leelas between Supreme Lord and Radharani. So one should only read when we are matured enough to understand it in the right perspective. That's why Prabhupada always recommends one should read Bhagavatam in a sequential order, canto by canto, first canto, second canto, because those who read directly the 10th canto, they will not be able to digest that. The Leelas between Lord Sri Krishna, Radharani and other gopis. So these are all transcendental Leelas. One should never see this as with our mundane vision, just like some, activities between opposite sex. That's why Prabhupada is warning all of us. So before reading such books, such scriptures, we should be thorough and we should be fully conversant, well-versed about the other scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and know his Aishwarya, opulence, greatness of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that's why Prabhupada is warning us. Text 58. जीवे साक्षात नहीं ताते ताते गुरु चैत्य रूपे शिक्षा गुरु हय कृष्णा महांत स्वरूपे जीवे साक्षात नहीं ताते गुरु चैत्य रूपे शिक्षा गुरु हय कृष्णा महांत स्वरूपे. Two devotees.
Jeeve sakshat nahi tat. Sorry, Mataji. Please continue.
Please carry on, Mataji. Hare.
Thank you, Mataji. जीवे साक्षात नाही तादे गुरु चैत्य रूपे शिक्षा गुरु हय कृष्ण महत स्वरूपे. Thank you, Prabhu.
जीवे साक्षात नाही ताते गुरु चैत्य रूपे शिक्षा गुरु हय कृष्ण महंत स्वरूपे.
Thank you, Mataji. Since one cannot visually experience the presence of the Super Soul, he appears before us as liberated devotee. Such a spiritual master is none other than Krishna himself. Okay, here Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, we are not eligible to visually experience the presence of the Super Soul. Why? Because we have Mamsa Chakshu, not Divya Chakshu. With our Mamsa Chakshu, we can see only material things, not spiritual. Okay? Krishna has a spiritual body. So with our material senses, we cannot perceive him. That's what he says. Since one cannot visually experience the presence of the Super Soul, he appears before us as liberated devotees. Such as spiritual master is none. So he appears as spiritual master externally. None other than Krishna himself. So spiritual master is a representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Leela also, he appears in 3 different ways. Okay, anyone knows how he appears? 3 different ways.
Brahmeti Paramatmeti is it the?
No. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Leela, he appears in 3 different aspects or 3 different ways to his devotees. One is Sakshat. Sakshat means direct. We can see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is present in Puri. So many devotees were serving him. Okay, Sakshat, he is personally present among the devotees. So even if there is no interaction directly with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, simply by seeing him, no interaction, people get Krishna Prema. And those who have seen him, that person is somebody else sees, not 10 people sees, they will also get Krishna Prema. They'll be immersed in Krishna Prema. So that is Sakshat. Okay. So directly seeing him, interacting him, and getting him. And another one is Avesha. Avesha means, empowering, entering other personalities. So he is not present. He enters some devotees and he controls the devotee. He becomes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through him. No one knows. There is one instance in Chaitanya Charitamrita, okay, Nakula Brahmachari. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was in Puri, he wanted to give Krishna Prema to people in Navadvip and Bengal. He wanted to interact or give, help them to become Krishna conscious. So what he did, he entered the heart of Nagula Brahmachari. So when he entered the heart of Nagula Brahmachari, his complexion changed. He became golden complexion, full of spiritual effulgence. People started thinking, who is this? He's exactly like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He has become. He's talking like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's behaving like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And because of that, Avesha, and people started flooding to him. And he actually, it is Nagula Brahmachari, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is entered him, and he is interacting with those, not Nagula Brahmachari. So people started doubt. Maybe this person is imposter. He's acting. So some of the people, especially Shivananda Sen. Shivananda Sen, he knows Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's always interacting with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Shivananda Sen came to know that this Nakula Brahmachari, is acting like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he had a doubt. Is he really an imposter, or really Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has entered him? So he thinking that he went. So when he went, there were millions of people in that place to see Nakula Brahmachari. So he was thinking in his mind, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knows me, I know him. So if he is really Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has entered him really, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will know that I have come here. So in that case, he will call me. Let me see, I will stay far. Okay. So Nagula Brahmachari started, he sensed that, he started laughing. Then he called some of the people nearby. There is one Shivananda Sen sitting, very far away. Please call him. Then that two people went there and started, where is Shivananda Sen? Shivananda Sen. So immediately came, he was called to Nagala Brahmachari. Then again, this Shivananda Sen thought, maybe because I am known to many people, and maybe he also knows me, that's why he called me. No, let me have another test. Okay. I want to know whether he knows this Nagula Brahmachari, who is acting as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, knows what mantra, sacred mantra, 4-syllable mantra that I am chanting. Immediately, Nagula Brahmachari smiled. Then he said, you are chanting this 4-syllable mantra called Gauranga. Okay, Gauranga. Then he was dead sure this is none other than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered him, and he is speaking. Because this Gauranga mantra is chanted not only by Shivananda Sen, Brahma was chanting Gauranga, Indra was chanting Gauranga, Suvarnasena was chanting Gauranga, Lord Shiva, Simantanidhi, everybody, they are all chanting Gauranga. It's an authentic, mantra. Who is Gauranga? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he made it, yes. Now, this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He personally, witnessed this. So Sakshat, he already witnessed, and now Avesha, he witnessed. Now, Avirbhav. Okay, Avirbhav is like, he is there in Puri, but he is present in other places also. For example, in Panihati festival. Panihati festival, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not present. But, he went there, only Nityananda Prabhu could see. He is present. He was feeding Chidadahi to Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu was feeding Chidadahi to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. People can see only, the morsel of food that being fed. They cannot see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but Nityananda Prabhu could see. So he is present. So here Avirbhav is present not only in Puri or in other place, he is simultaneously present in Paniyati festivals. It is said that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will be present at 4 places. Always. Those 4 places where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will be present.
Prabhuji, I'm just guessing. I'm not sure. I don't know the real answer. I mean, Sachimataji's house, Mata's house, he always goes and have food. So, and then
Very good.
Sankirtana, wherever it's happening.
Yes, 4 places where whenever Sachimata cooks and offer prasadam, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes and honors. Chaitanya
In
Mahaprabhu,
Jagannath Puri and Brindavan Prabhuji, the other two places.
no. Wherever and whenever Sachimata cooks and offer food, whenever Raghav Pandit cooks and offer food, whenever Nityananda Prabhu sing and dance, whenever in Srivasangan, the Sankirtana, Nama Sankirtana happens. These 4 places, you'll definitely be there. Okay. So Sachimada cannot see him, but she sees that the plate is empty. The bhoga is offered, the curtain is closed. Now, after the curtain is opened, the plate is empty. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes and eats that bhoga. Similarly, in Raghav Pandit's place also. Okay, so he comes, is not seen by
Prabhuji, this
others.
Raghav Pandit place, please explain, Prabhuji. We're not
Raghav
aware
Pandit
of that.
is Raghav Pandit, in the Paniyati festival. After Paniyati festival, Raghav Pandit calls for prasadam at his. He prepares so many items. They're all, participants of Rajalila during Krishna's time. His name is, his name in Krishna Lila was, I forgot, not Damayanti. Damayanti is his sister. Okay, I forgot. Anyway, they're all from the Krishna Lila pastime only. So he cooks so many items. It's if you read that dishes, you'll go really wow, wonderstruck. So especially prasadam is given so much importance in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, lists so many dishes of different, especially Raghav Pandit and all, and they prepare foods for immediate consumption that has long shelf life, which can be used for months and years, and takes to Jagannath Puri. They store it for, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like that. So Raghav Pandit also is very good cook, and whatever he cooks, it's nectar. So he sends it to Jagannath Puri. That is Raghav Pandit. And Nityananda Prabhu, I mentioned, and who else? And Srivasanga. So Avirbhav, he goes there, but everyone cannot see. Only some people can see. So there was a devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Narasimhananda Brahmachari. Okay, because his Ishta Devada was Narasimhadev. That's why he got this name. Otherwise, his name was Pradyumna something. So Narasimhadeva, Narasimhananda Brahmachari, okay, was a very close, intimate devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So one year, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told all the Navadip Vasis, okay, not to come to Jagannath Puri. Otherwise, every year they go and stay 4 months in Jagannath Puri during the Chaturmasya period and during the Jagannath Yatra. So 1 year, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, no, I'll come this time to Navadip. So they were all very happy. So this message was sent by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through Narasimhananda Brahmachari. So Narasimhananda Brahmachari, when they were all packing prasadam and so many things to go to Jagannath Puri. But then he informed that, no, don't come. No, this time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is coming. So you wait here. So they all started decorating their houses, their streets and everything to receive Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then when the time came, they waited 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, he is not to be seen. So they were worrying what happened, why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not coming. We could not go there also, nor see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu coming. So Narasimhananda Brahmachari came to know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has not come as promised, and all these devotees are so suffering the pangs of separation from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then he said, don't worry, I will get Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here in 3 days. Please give me 3 days time. We started meditating on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This Narsimananda Brahmachari. Narsimananda Brahmachari, in his meditation, he, decorated all the path, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was traveling with beautiful flowers and gates and, beautiful meadows. Like that, he used to decorate all the path that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu travels in his mental, this thing, in his mind. And not only that, he controls the movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his dream. That is Narasimhanda Brahmachari. So devotees can even control in his dream. So wherever Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he doesn't want to go there, he will, divert Chaitanya Mahaprabhu like that he was. So such a personality Narasimhanda Brahmachari was. So he started meditating. So after 2 days of meditation, he got up and told Sivananda Sen, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has reached Kanai Natashala. Okay. So tomorrow by lunchtime, he will be here. So please prepare. So they were all happy. Sivananda Sen, all the devotees started preparing bhoga. Every day they prepare and wait for nobody to. So tomorrow definitely is going to come. So next day in the afternoon, and again he started meditating. Next day afternoon, Brahmachari, our Narsimhanda Brahmachari told Jagadananda and Sivananda Sen, prepare 3 plates of bhoga. Okay, one for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one for Narasimhadev, one for Jagannath. Okay, so that afternoon, next day afternoon, so it was prepared and kept for offering. One for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one for Jagannath, and one for Narasimhadev, his Ishta Devata. Close the door. So he said that in the afternoon, for lunchtime, he will reach. So he kept it, closed the altar. Then they started standing Gayatri. And after, as immediately after this Gayatri was over, so Narasimhanda Brahmachari, he is seeing that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu finished his plate. Then he took the plate of Jagannath also. Then he said, "Oh Lord, why you are eating from his plate? It's for Jagannath." No problem. Jagannath, then you are both are same, so no problem, you eat. And that is also. Then after that, he took the plate of Narasimhadev. Oh, he is my Ishtadeva. Why you are taking his plate? If you eat that, I will have to starve. So don't please him. By the time, very nicely, he finished that also. Then they opened this thing, curtain, so the 3 plates empty. Sivananda Sen, Jagadananda Pandit, and all telling, what is this? We kept everything, nothing is there. Where is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Is that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Is that the bhoga is already offered and no prasadam also left? So this Narasimhan, the Brahmachari said, he came, he ate his plate and he ate the other 2 plates also. But they could not see. But they did not believe, how is it possible? Then later when Sivananda Sen went next year to Jagannath Puri, he said, remember last time I came there, okay? You offered this thing and I ate out the 3 plates. Then it stuck. Yes, it was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who came but invisible to all of them except for Narasimhanda Brahmachari. So Sivananda Sen witnessed all this Sakshat, Avesha and Avirbhava. Okay. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears in 3 different ways to interact with devotees and to give Krishna Prema to devotees. Okay, so that is it. Purport. It is not possible for a conditioned soul to directly meet Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. But if one becomes a sincere devotee and seriously engages in devotional service, Lord Krishna sends an instructing spiritual master to show him favor and invoke his dormant propensity for serving the Supreme. As I told you, we have Mamsa Chakshu, materialize. We cannot perceive the Supreme Lord since he is Sachidananda. For that reason, he will send his representative, who is none other than Lord himself. We should not treat the spiritual master, separate from Krishna. So that is what we have to understand. So the preceptor appears before the external senses of the fortunate conditioned soul, and at the same time, the devotee is guided from within by the Chaitya Guru. Who is Chaitya Guru? Lord Himself as Paramatma. Okay. So Chaitya Guru guides him to the external spiritual master. Krishna, who is seated as the spiritual master within the heart of every living entity. So we have Padapradarsa Guru, Siksha Guru, Diksha Guru, Chaitya Guru, many types of gurus. Okay. Text 59. Tado dushangamutsrijya satsu sajjeda buddhiman shanda eva se chindanti mano vyasangam uktibhi tato dusangamutsrijya satsu sajjeda buddhiman shanda eva se chindanti mano vyasangam uktibhi. Hare Krishna to devotees.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Tato dussangam utsrijya satsu sajjeta buddhiman santa evasya chindanti manovyasangam utkibhib.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare.
Tato dussangamutsrijya satsu sajjeta buddhiman santa evasya chindanti manovyasangam uktibihi vyasangam. Hare Krishna.
One should therefore avoid bad company and associate only with the devotees. With their realized instructions, such saints can cut the knot connecting one with activities unfavorable to devotional service. So, what is instruction? What the instruction is given here? One should therefore avoid the bad company. Asatsang tyaga. Okay. Sangatyago. Okay. In which loga? Which loga?
Comes in
Sangatyago.
Upadesamritam, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Upadesamritam.
Sangatyago sadovrate Shadbir Bhaktir
Shadvid Bhakti Vinasyati.
and
Pranasyati. Hare Krishna. I'm sorry,
Prasiddhari.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Prasiddhari. Okay. Okay. Other one is Vinashyati. Okay. Okay. One should therefore avoid bad company and associate only with devotees. Only devotees. Asasang Tyag. Sangha should be there. Satsang should be there. With their realized instruction, because they have realized the absolute truth and they can instruct us. Such saints can cut the knot connecting one with activities unfavorable. So, whatever unfavorable for our devotional activities, devotional progress, they will cut that knot. When we do any activity, immediately a knot is there. A knot is tied. Any fruitive activities. Like that, thousands and millions of knots will be there in a thread, as karma. Can we untie that knots? So that is binding us in this material world. So how can we tie that, untie that? So many knots, okay, one after another. Can we do that? So what can be done? We have to cut with the sword of knowledge and detachment. So who will help us? Such devotees. Okay. So whatever unfavorable for our devotional path, they will help us to cut that knot. That is what saintly personalities will do. That's what the gurus will do. So we have to always have satsanga, not asatsanga. So this verse, which appears in Srimad Bhagavatam, was spoken by Lord Krishna to Uddhava in the text known as Uddhava Gita. Okay, so 11th canto, this Uddhava Gita conversation between Uddhava and Lord Krishna. Okay, just like how Arjuna asked question and Krishna answered. Similarly, Uddhava asked question, Krishna answers. So that's called Uddhava Gita. The discussion relates to the story of Pururava and the heavenly courtesan Urvashi. Okay. When Urvashi left, Pururava was deeply affected by the separation and had to learn to overcome his grief. So you must be knowing the story of Pururava and Urvashi. So Pururava was also known as Aila, I think, right? So Aila Gita is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. So he was deeply affected by the separation because Urvashi left Pururava, went to where? Swargaloka. She's a Swargaloka Apsara. Actually, she was attracted to Pururava. She came and got married, and Pururava got so much attached to Urvashi. He didn't want to leave Urvashi, but Urvashi just left like that. So, in that connection, this sloka is told by Lord Sri Krishna to Uddhava. So, this is he was deeply affected by the separation and had to learn to overcome his grief. So, then he wrote this Aila Gita because Aila is also another name for Pururava, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So it is indicated that to learn the transcendental science, it is imperative that one avoid the company of undesirable persons, always seek the company of saints and sages who are able to impart lessons of transcendental knowledge. The potent words of such realized souls penetrate the heart, thereby eradicating all misgivings accumulated through years of undesirable association. See, if you interact or associate with people who has academic qualification, you'll get informations, you'll get data. Your brain will be filled with data or information. But if you interact or mingle with or associate with devotees, it's not that you get information data. Your heart will be transformed. You're not just getting knowledge. You are getting realization through them, through these saintly personalities. So one is the academic qualification, the other one is the spiritual realization. Saintly personalities, they have spiritually realized who we are, who God is, what's our relationship, how we can attain Him. So they have realized that. So we should have association with devotees. We don't want information or data. We are not a data collecting center, which is of no use. We want to transform ourselves from a material person to a spiritual person, to a devotee. For that, we need the blessings of saintly personalities. So that's why it is mentioned here, the potent words of such realized souls penetrate the heart. Information will go into the brain. Okay? Transformation happens through the soul, through the heart. So for a neophyte devotee, there are two kinds of persons whose association is undesirable. Gross materialists who constantly engage in sense gratification, and unbelievers who do not serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but serve the senses and their mental whims in terms of their spiritual speculative habits. So two persons we should avoid. Gross materialists, totally only business transactions. Maybe they are praying to God also, but only for sense gratification. They are asking only for their comforts, only for their gratificatory activities. But then unbelievers, second, atheistic mentality. They don't believe in God, they don't serve the Supreme Personality of God, rather they serve only their senses. And not according to any rules and regulations, according to their mental whims, in terms of their speculative habits. Intelligent persons seeking transcendental realization should very scrupulously avoid their company. So those who are intelligent should always avoid such association. Okay, when we go to any place, if the topic is sports, politics, films, in what way it is going to help us in devotional activities. Okay. To the minimum information required, we should take it, because we are also living in a society where some information is required. But maximum possible, we should try to associate with devotees only. We can associate with non-devotees to the extent it is required for a business purpose, for a professional purpose, or in office, whatever it is, but keep the distance. But with devotees, we should give a heart and associate. That's what we should do. That's what Acharyas recommend also. Okay, Hare Krishna. So, text 60 from next week onwards. Vancha kalpatarubhesya kripa sindhu bevacha पतिदानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। गुरु महाराज की जय। जय गो प्रेमानंदे। हरि हरि बोल।